Unfortunately, it is the case that if we run for long enough, at some point we are going to have to navigate injury. And statistics show that 1 out of every 5 runners is competing with an injury at the time of competition. And people can beat themselves up about that, but it's the reality. So if we understand the causes of running injuries, perhaps we can be that little bit more educated around how to avoid them or the pitfalls to avoid. And hopefully this will please people in that the number one reason runners get injured is because of training errors. Now, what is a training error? Well, I can put every digit I have up in the air. I've made all of them. I'm sure you have as well, Ross. A training error is simply a workload error. And think of it simply as too much, too soon, too hard, too fast. The classic one is as we increase volume or time or minutes per week, we also increase intensity. And that's unfortunately a fairly likely recipe at some point for a potential bone stress injury.
What it's really important for all of us to understand with our run training is that often it may not be the program, but it certainly is the fact that we're doing too much too soon. Are there any other key elements or takeaways with our running that will put us in the danger zone that we need to be aware of?
It is that simple. It's the workload exceeding the runner's capacity. Now, what does that word capacity even mean? It means their robustness. How bulletproof are they? And the thing that gives runners the greatest bulletproofness, if there's such a word, there is now, is being strong and conditioned. Now, how strong do we need to be? Well, it's relative to the workload. So if you're a runner that's doing 3 casual runs a week and maybe park run, you need X amount of strength. But if you're running 100 mile a week, an elite marathoner, you need another level of strength, whether it's a bone injury or a tendon injury or a soft tissue, joint related injury, whatever it is, there is 9 times out of 10 always a deficit of muscle strength that has contributed to that injury's development. So it's really a seesaw. We've got to have the workload balance with the runner's strength. Dr. Stephen Seiler, he's a doyen in the world of sports science and training load research, physiology, exercise physiology, and he'll look at athletes' best performances over seasons, and they'll add up how many, the cross-country skiers, the runners, the cyclists, and we're talking about hundreds of sessions. But he will talk about the fact that it's not the one session that makes you fit, it's the 40 sessions combined and the consistency around those. So it's a great question, how long to adapt, how long until we see those fitness gains? There's no easy answer, but we both could identify with the fact that it's not in 1 week and it's not after one session. I think if people are consistent for at least a minimum of 4 weeks, they're going to start to see some adaptations, whether that's with their polar device or with other metrics that they're tracking, but you'll see adaptation.